I had my first one-night stand and feel terrible. It happened with an airline pilot I met on a dating app. He 30M told me 27F from the very beginning he is in the city for a very short period of time and wanted to meet in his hotel bar. I knew this is about sex and nothing else, but I was curious about it, and he was one of the most good-looking men I ever encountered. However, I proposed to meet in a different place. He wasn't that happy about it because he is tired but agreed. We had a coffee and he proposed within like 20 minutes to go back to the hotel. The sex was great. I spent the night with him and he put his arm around me in his sleep. In the morning he was extremely nice to me. We had breakfast together in his room and then he ordered an Uber for me. Also, he waited with me until the Uber picked me up and kissed me on the cheek, which felt a bit weird after having sex. He told me he needs to meet with the rest of the crew, otherwise he would have spent more time with me. So, I knew this was just sex for both of us, but he was so incredibly nice to me, polite, he was also funny, and I felt so safe with him. I couldn't resist and I texted him after a good few hours and he answered and told me about his day. Asked me how I did on my exam and I told him I don't have the results them, at which he answered, well, you can tell me when you have them, I am sure you did well. But I didn't want to talk about my exam and asked him if there is any chance we will meet again, and he replied like half an hour later with, I think this was a bad idea actually. I asked what and he said all of it. I asked why. He said, I just didn't want to hurt you and I feel I did. I started doubting it was a good idea the moment you told me it is a first hookup for you. You couldn't know how you will feel after, as you have never experienced this before. I should have ended it there, but we went along well and I honestly liked you a lot and just let it flow because you were so easygoing. I told him I feel so pathetic for reaching out and acting clingy and it's fine if he blocks me. But he said he has no reason to block me. Also, he added that it's not that I am clingy or he doesn't feel like I am anything like that, but he does believe I am emotional and he saw me blushing many times during our coffee meeting. He ended by saying that maybe hookup are not for me and it's nothing bad about it, and hopes that at least he made it a good experience for me too because he had a good time. I am not at all angry with him. He was nice and honest with me. But I felt that he agreeing on going out with me for that coffee and actually talking about our life and us having breakfast together the next morning was a sign he might be open for more, and now I am a mess. Also, he said he wants me to text him about my exams, so I don't know. I try to think about my own actions and thought processes, and maybe, just maybe, I was fooling myself. When I saw his profile I was charmed and he was very honest about wanting sex and only sex, so maybe I tricked myself into thinking I wanted only sex too. But if he told me he is looking for a real date, I would have also been up to that. I guess I liked him a lot, not the thought of an ONS. But it was all my fault and nothing else. I don't blame him. Also, I didn't reply anything to his last message because I felt so embarrassed, and literally a few minutes ago, he asked me, hey, you okay? I replied that I am, it's just that I regret reaching out. So he sent laughing emojis and said he will reach out as soon as he is done with the next flight, so we can be even. Added a PS, I really want to know how your exam went. Edit, the reason I contacted him first was a sudden realization and sadness that I might never see him again. I liked the sex, he was so in control in a good way and confident, and it made me feel experienced, although I am not really. Yet, no rude comments from him. And he had his arm around my waist after, in his sleep. I would just want to go for a coffee too when we meet, or for a walk, or a movie, or just hang out. Not meet my parents and join me at the wedding type of commitment. But he said he cannot because he is way too tired to do anything after a long flight. So he wants to meet in June but not do any of these stuff because he has no energy left in him, I quoted. Update. Everyone was and is telling me to stop texting him, which I did. But some time ago he texted me he will be in the city on June 18th, so if I want to meet for a coffee, added I really want to have coffee with you, not just a pretext, we can meet. Is there any possibility he genuinely likes me after all?